This video tutorial is about enabling pretty URLs with AngularJS and Microsoft MVC. My name is Jason Burke, and the technologies I'll be using for today's demo are Microsoft MVC.NET version 4.5 and AngularJS version 1.3. You can also find out more information about me at www.meburke.com, and I've included a link to the project on GitHub. So let's get started. In AngularJS, pretty URLs, also known as clean URLs, refer to the removal of the hashtag from the URL. The hashtag in AngularJS appears by default, so that the framework can be compatible with older non-HTML5 browsers. When working with AngularJS and Microsoft MVC, two major challenges will be faced by removing the hashtag from the URL. The first challenge will be coordinating the URL routing between AngularJS on the client and MVC on the server. And the second challenge will be fixing refreshes that occur within the AngularJS application. Here, I've created a default ASP.NET web application, and embedded at the bottom of this page is an AngularJS single page application that includes two pages, a home page and page 2. Notice the URL maintains the hashtag as I select between the home page and page 2 of the Angular application. This is the expected behavior by default of an AngularJS application. The first step to the removal of the hashtag will be to add the location provider HTML5 function call to the config section of your Angular app. It is this line of code that will be responsible for recognizing the hashtag in the URL and removing it. The second step will be to add in the head section of your HTML a base href tag. This base URL is used to resolve all relative URLs throughout the application, regardless of the entry point into the app. You'll see here that since my Angular app is located at the root level, all I will need is a /. Notice the hashtag has now been removed from the URL. I can click between the home page and page 2, and the AngularJS application will work as expected. Now that I've set up pretty URLs in AngularJS, let's look at what happens when attempting to refresh page 2 of the Angular application. When I perform a refresh on the page by clicking F5, I receive a 404 error from Microsoft.NET. This error occurs because a refresh is causing an execution of the server-side MVC routing code, and that routing code is attempting to resolve a URL that it simply cannot find. Before, when the hashtag was present, the MVC server-side routing would ignore the URL. However, it is now attempting to resolve this URL, and therefore a 404 error is being thrown. In order to prevent this 404 error from occurring, I will include a catch-all route on the server side that will pass through all routes to the home index, therefore allowing Angular to pick up that routing on the client side. I will also comment out the default route. Notice now when I perform a refresh on page 2, I will no longer receive a 404 error. By commenting out the default routing on the MVC server side, a new issue has been introduced. This new issue does not allow for appropriate server-side routing to MVC controllers to occur. Notice that when I click the About hyperlink at the top of the menu, that no action is being performed. This is the same for the Contact hyperlink. In order to reconcile this new issue, the first thing that needs to be done is to add in custom routes on the MVC server side for each controller. This will allow MVC to perform the proper routing on those controllers. The last step that needs to be performed is to add a target underscore self to the action links for the About and Contact in the Layouts view. This will cause those action links to perform a postback, thereby allowing the MVC routing to be executed and perform the appropriate routing. Now that the About and Contact work, let's go back and look at the Angular application. And we see that the AngularJS application also works as expected, as well as the F5 refresh. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial on pretty URLs with AngularJS and Microsoft MVC. I'm Jason Burke, and you can find me at www.meetburke.com. Thank you.